Welcome back everyone. Students, we are going to continue our chapter, the necklace, and this is the last part of the chapter. Till previous video, we have studied that Mimlaisel has returned from the party, and when she returned, when she was there in front of the mirror for a final view of that grand look, suddenly she saw that the treasure was missing. And you know better what the treasure is. Yes, of course, the necklace. The necklace was missing, and this gave a huge shock to Mem Loisel and also Mr. Loisel. So in this video, we will try to know what do M and Mem Loisel do next. And we will also try to know how do they replace the necklace. These two suspenses we are going to witness in this video. Okay, so let's join me in this journey of knowing the suspense. Loisel, already half undressed, asked, "What is the matter?" At the time when Mem Loisel found that the necklace was missing, at the very particular moment, M. Loisel, her husband, he was half undressed. And in that condition he asked, "What happened? Why are you crying? What's wrong with you?" She turned towards him excitedly. She took a turn towards him and said, I no longer have Mem Forestier's necklace. Just try to feel when something very precious, very costly, and especially the thing when it is not belong to you, and you lost that particular thing, how do you feel? So this was the feeling. I no longer have Mem Forestier's necklace. I lost it. Just as she exclaimed these words, M. Loisel, he arose in dismay. "What? How's that? How is it possible? It's not possible." And they looked into the folds of the dress, in the folds of the cloak, in the pockets, even everywhere. But they couldn't find it. In the folds of the cloak, in the folds of the dress, in fact, everywhere around them, they tried to search for that necklace. Even then they didn't get it. And then he asked, "You are sure you still had it when you left the minister's house?" He just wanted to make it confirm from his wife whether she was sure that it was there with her when they left minister's house. "Yes, I felt it was it as we came out. Yes, it was there with me when we came out. But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab." Now husband replied very smartly. And what he said, it means if you have lost it in the way, in the street, definitely we will hear the sound of its falling. Means when a metal fall upon a surface, definitely there will be a sound, and it was a necklace of diamond. Definitely it will give a sound. It means it actually didn't fall over there. This was the IQ level of her husband. And what he added to his guess, he said, "It must be in the cab. Must be in the cab. Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number? Her wife replied, his wife replied, yes, yes, it is possible. Did you take the number? No. And you? Did you notice what it was? Did you notice the number? No. She also replied, no. They looked at each other utterly cast down. When they both were failed to note down the number of that cab, they became very sad, totally hopeless. And in that hopeless condition, they were looking at each other, gulped. And finally, Loisel dressed himself again. And when her husband was sure that the necklace is not in the house right now, he once again dressed himself. He put on his clothes. And what he said, I am going over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it. He said, I am going to the same way from where we are coming right now. And I will try to look each and every corner and make it confirm whether it is there or not. If it is there, then definitely we will get it. And he went. Just as he went, she remained in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. Who can go to bed if such things happened? Nobody can. And this also happened with Mem Loisel. She was also a lot depressed, and that's why, due to restlessness, she was not able to sleep. Towards 7 o'clock, her husband returned. Means her husband returned in the morning at 7 o'clock, and he found nothing. Empty-handed he returned from his search. He went to the police and to the cab offices and put an advertisement in the newspaper offering a reward. So all these things he did in order to get back his necklace. What were the things? First of all, he went to the police. He also went to the cab offices and there he inquired. And also he put an advertisement in which he declared an award, a reward. If somebody will find this particular necklace, I will give him this particular amount. Though amount is not mentioned in your book. Okay? She waited all day in a state of bewilderment. She was totally shocked, astonished, and she waited for her husband throughout the day. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing. Finally, her husband returned in the evening, and when he returned, he was empty-handed, as he had not get anything, any clue about that necklace. Now, once again, see how much love is there in M. Loisel's mind, in his heart for his wife. He said, write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of necklace. Clasp, to which it is connected, clasp. So write to your friend. He suggested his wife, write down a note to your friend and told her that as you have broken the clasp of that necklace, you have sent that necklace to be repaired for repairment. It will take some time, and after some time when it will return from there, after repairing, when it will return, I will return to you. So this was the plan of M. Loisel. So what is written over here? Write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired, and that will give us some time. We will get some time through it, and definitely it will be very beneficial for us. In a shop of Palace Royal, they found a chaplet of diamond which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. So Palace Royal may be the most famous shop, and there they went and they came across the exactly same chaplet, means necklace. That necklace was looking exactly like they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. I told you earlier, francs is the currency. So 40,000 francs, the value of it. And it was a lot. But they could get it for 36,000. So often there is, when we go for something, when we go to purchase something, there is some bargain. After bargaining, it will cost them 36,000 francs, means less than 4,000 francs of their real cost, of its real cost. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs which his father had left him. In heritage from his father he had 18,000 francs. But what about the next 18,000 francs dues? This was the problem. So he borrowed the rest. The rest, full amount, he borrowed from some other persons. He made ruinous promises. He made ruinous promises. The promises that are going to ruin him. He made such promises. Took money from the usurers and the whole race of the lenders. Those who can afford money, he had taken money from all the people. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. After receiving the entire amount of 18,000 and 18,000 of his part together, when combined, and it will become 36,000 francs, he went to that merchant's shop and he put that amount in front of that shopkeeper so that he can have that necklace. He deposited that amount, 36,000 francs. When Mem Loisel took back the jewel to Mem Forestier, the latter said to her in frigid tone, "You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them." Now, the incident changes. He went back to his home and he handed over that necklace to his wife, and his wife is now going to return that necklace to Mem Forestier. She is going to return that necklace to Mem Forestier. So what now happened? When she was in front of Mem Loisel, Mem Forestier, then what happened? The latter said to her in a frigid tone, in a very angry look, in a very irritative look, she replied, "You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them. Why are you so late? You asked for it, I gave you, and you promised me to return it. But you have taken a lot of time. It should not be like this. You should not take such time in returning my necklace." Mem Forestier didn't open the jewel box as Mem Loisel feared she would. There was a fear in the mind of Mem Loisel. She was thinking, what will happen when she will open the box in front of her or after her? What will happen? But she didn't have to worry about that, as Mem Forestier didn't open the box in front of her. What would she think if she should perceive the substitution? Exactly the same feeling was in her mind. What will happen when she will see the substitution in the box? What should she say? Would she take her for a robber? Isn't it? It can also be a possibility. Mem Forestier took her as a robber. So Ma'am Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. All things are over now. She returned to her house, and now she realized the necessity of life, the real meaning of life. Now she come to know that greed can cause a lot of harm. We should only use such things which are very necessary. We should not think about luxurious life. So that is why she did her part, however, completely heroically. Now she is performing her task with full spirit. And what was her task? To return to her normal life. And how can she return to her normal life? Only after depositing, only after repaying her debt. And what was the amount? 18,000 francs, dears. Okay. So what she has done to repay her debt, in order to help her husband in repaying the debt, now we are going to know. Okay. So it was necessary to pay this frightful debt. She would pay it. They sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented some room in an attic. So first of all, they reduced their expenses. How? They just removed their maids. They sent away their maids. And also they changed their lodgings, their residence. Now they are living in a common room that is on the roof. Okay. She learned the odious work of a kitchen. She washed the dishes. She washed the soiled linen, their cloths and dishcloths. Now all the household works she is doing. Prior she was not habitual of doing all these things. But at present, as maid were not there, she will have to do all these things. Right? So she learned the odious work of the kitchen. And she washed the dishes. Not only the dishes, but also the cloths. Not only the cloths, but also the dirty cloths. All these things she is doing right now, which she hung on the line to dry. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water. Some more task. Now throwing the garbage of the house is the responsibility of her. Now carrying all the stuff, necessary stuff from the market is now in her part. She will have to go to the grocer's shop right now. That's what it is written here. What is written here? She clothed like a woman of common people, and she went to the grocers, the butchers and the fruiterers with her basket on her arm. Now each and everything she will have to bring. Doesn't matter it is fruit, is it vegetable, it is grocery, everything from top to bottom, now she will have to bring. Hankering to the last show of her miserable money. And thus she was trying to save even a single penny of her total amount. So means penny. Single rupee, you can understand now. So the husband worked evening. Not only the wife was doing all these things, but also her husband was doing all these things. Her husband was working in the evening, putting the books of some merchants in order. He is putting the books of a merchant. And at night she often did copying at 5 sous a piece. And he is charging 5 sous for copying a page at night. So all these things he was doing at night. Some extra works he was doing. Okay, next. And this lasted for 10 years. All these things took 10 years of their life. You know, 10 years is a very huge amount of someone's life. It cannot return. It's a very long period. Means in repaying the full amount they will have to waste the 10 years of their life. Okay, now at the end of the 10 years they had restored all. Means after 10 years they were able to restore all the debts, they were restored their proper life. But what will happen to those 10 years, the sufferings that they have gone through? Can anyone pay for that particular period? Not at all. Let's some more paragraphs. Ma'am Loisel seemed old now. Now after 10 years she seemed old and she had become strong. Prior she was very polite, as she was not in the habit of doing work. So that's why she was very polite, very tender, very beautiful, very pretty. But after going through a very hard life of bringing from top to bottom things from the market, bearing all the responsibilities, tension of repaying 18,000 francs, all these things results in changing her from a simple, from an beautiful to a hard person. This happened with her. Okay. Now, hard woman, the cruel woman of poor household. Her hair badly dressed. Now when there is no money, only money matters, as we know. Only money matters. When there is no money, her hairs, they were also not combed properly. So her hairs badly dressed, her skirts awry. Even her skirt, it was very untidy. Her hands red, she spoke in a loud tone. Now, speaking loudly is in her culture. She used to speak loud. Now, she was in the habit of washing the floors with large pail of water. Now, washing the floor, it is also in her part. Just see, just try to understand the difficulties that she has gone through. And then she would seat herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times. That evening was still in her memory. That beautiful heaven-like night was still in her memory. And she was thinking of that particular night, where she was so beautiful and was so flattered. Everybody was praising her because she was looking very beautiful there. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? Now, the real nature of human beings, what will happen? How would it have been? Such type of the questions were there. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? What will happen if she would not have lost the necklace? Who knows? How singular is life, how unpredictable the life is, she comes to know right now. And how full of changes the life is. How a small thing will ruin or save one. A small step of your life can do a lot of change to yourself. And that's why in class 9th you have gone through the poem, The Road Not Taken. And that has made all the difference. This matters, dears. Okay. Now, next paragraph. On Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs-Elysees to rid herself of the cares of the week. So usually we want to refresh ourselves by visiting some places. Okay. We used to go to the parks, the nearby temples. She was there at Champs-Elysees in order to fresh herself. And there she came across a woman who was walking with a child. And it was none other than Mem Forestier. And she was looking still young, still pretty, still attractive. Mem Loisel was affected. She was very much impressed once again from Mem Forestier. Should she speak to her? Now there is a question that rose in her mind. Should she go and speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all the truth. Why not? As she had repaid all the debt of Mem Forestier's, means the treasure that she has taken, and the debt that was on her part due to that necklace, she has paid all the things. So there should not be any fear in going in front of her. So she talked to herself. She said to herself, "No, I will go." She approached her, and then she decided to go, and she approached her and asked, "Good morning, Jenny." "Good morning, Jenny." Her friend didn't recognize her, but as she was very untidy, very awkward looking, her charm was lost. That's why Forestier didn't recognize her. And she was astonished when she was addressed so familiar by an unknown person, by a common person. And she stammered, "Madam, I don't know you. Who are you? I think there is some mistake. You must have been mistaken." No. I am Matilda Loisel. I am Matilda." Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. "Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed. What happened to you? You look so awkward right now. What happened to you?" Then she said, "Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you. Since I last met you, I am going through a very hard time. And some miserable ones, and all because of you. And all whatever I came across, it's only because of you." "Because of me? How is that? How can you say because of me?" Actually, now she told the truth to her. "You recall the diamond necklace? Is it in your memory? The diamond necklace that you have given me? That you loaned me to wear to that minister's wall? Just remind 10 years before, 10 years ago, you have lended me your diamond necklace." Yes, very well." "Well, I lost it." "Oh, I lost it. How is that? Since you returned it to me, how can it be true? You returned that to me." Now she unfolds the secret. How? She told her, "I returned another to you exactly like it. Exactly like it I returned you. But it was not the original one. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. And from last 10 years we are paying for it." You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing. You can understand that we are from middle class family and we cannot offer, we cannot bear such a huge loss easily. And that's why we have a very hard time. But finally it is finished and I am decently content. Everything is over and now I am satisfied. Mem Forestier stopped short. Now there was a shock. Mem Forestier shocked and she stopped. She said, "You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine?" Just a minute. What you told me? You told me that you have purchased an original diamond necklace in order to replace mine. Is it so? Yes. You did not perceive it then. They were just alike. Actually, at that time you didn't recognize that. You didn't find out the difference. Actually, these two, yours and mine, they were exactly similar. Oh, she smiled with proud and simple joy. There was a joy in her smile too. Mem Forestier was touched and took both her hands and she replied, "Oh my God! Oh my poor Matilda! Mine were false. My necklace was not original. They were not worth over 500 francs. Even they were not valued more than 500 francs, and you have paid near about 36,000 francs. So students, thus we come to know sometimes what greed can cause. I hope that you are all well known to this chapter. All my effort that I have tried are in your favor, and you have well up to date to this chapter. Still, if you have any query, you can ask me into the comment section. I am always there with you. Keep learning and keep watching with us. Stay tuned.